Welcome, second grade. Welcome, families. Welcome, friends, parents, grandparents. Thank you so much for coming. I am just so excited to celebrate these second graders. Can you guys believe you'll be in third grade? Mom, I can't believe it either. It has been an honor and privilege to see you guys grow this year, and I will let you guys know. I've come in your classroom a few times, and these kids, they are just so smart. They know what to do. They are on task. Granted, I might just get them on great days every time I come in. I don't know, but they are just awesome, and I am proud of you guys. Let's go ahead and start with a prayer. Dear God, thank you for this day. Thank you for this second grade class. Thank you for their teachers and parents and families who have supported them throughout this school year. We are just so blessed by them. Please help guide these young students as they continue to learn and grow and continue on to third grade. May they be filled with courage and kindness as they move forward. In your name we pray. Amen. And I'd like to welcome Mrs. Crawford up, our teacher for second grade. And she is going to share some amazing awards with you.
Spoiler alert, I brought a tissue. Okay, and I brought a speech, because sometimes I can really talk off the fly, but today I was very nervous about 20 minutes, so I'm like, oh. I'm going to start with this. Mrs. Sass warned me. She warned me right before school began, and she warned me that this class was brilliant. And I thought, she's just exaggerating. She just is coming off the high of having a really great year, and you guys in first grade learned so much, and she's just pumping you up. And then you walked in my door. And that first day, I was like, whoa, you blew my hair back, because you are brilliant. I couldn't believe you guys remember on that first day, learning about all the things of second grade. How many puzzle pieces did you earn that first day? Was it 5? Nobody has ever done that, and I don't expect anybody ever will. And that wasn't because you were brilliant. That was just because you were very good listeners. And you know how you become brilliant? You got to listen. And you do that. You do that well. Now, maybe these last few days or weeks, we've been a little tough to do that, but you're amazing. You guys are just so amazing. You're 1 in a million, and I have just been so thankful to be your teacher this year. So then there's this hard thing with when your class is brilliant, how do I choose who some of my top award winners are? Because everybody deserves that, but I only have 20 minutes, and so we're going to start with some math awards today. And I thought, oh, how can I do this? You guys do an amazing job when it comes to timed math facts. You do an amazing job getting your work right when you have assignments in math. And so I thought, what am I going to do? So I said, aha, I'm going to look at your NWEA progress. Last week you took NWEA tests, and so I pulled up those scores. And I thought, I'm just going to get the top 5. Well, because you guys are so competitive, of course there had to be a two-way tie, and so that meant I was going to have to present 6 awards. And then I really got to looking at the scores, and I discovered that there were not just 6 top kids that I should recognize. I thought there were 10. Because you see, the scores for your overall math in NWEA, I had 10 kids that were above 200. And in NWEA in the past, I'd get a few kids with a score above 200. But to have 10. And then really late last night when I was still working on these, which is kids why I'm probably emotional today, I'm very tired. But when I was working on these, I recounted. It's a good thing because there's actually 11. And for all you mathematicians out there, out of 22 children, 11 would be exactly half. So half of my class is going to get recognized right now for your math awards. But then I was looking at my math awards, and I found some, I thought they were kind of cute and fun, so I was like, how can I do this? Because I've got 3 separate ones. So I looked a little deeper in your NWEA scores, And I discovered that they have a breakdown of things like geometry, computation, algebraic thinking, and one more that I didn't write down. That's okay, because those 11 kids all had their top score in one of those 3 categories. And so I'm going to ask Mrs. Bailey to come up here and help me present some awards. So, sure, yeah, I think that sounds great. So I would like to call forward, how about I'll do this? I'll get all 11 of you, because I'm afraid I'm going to run out of time. So I'm going to get all 11 of you up here, and then we'll actually present the award. Does that sound good? All right, I need JJ, Grayson, Crew, Luca, Andrew, Selah, Ellie, Braylon, Nolan, these are really hard to move, by the way, Landon, and Benjamin. Okay, so now, again, I was looking at the breakdown of your NWEA scores, and this is kind of how it shook out. So out of those 4 categories, JJ, Grayson, Crew, if you want to start handing them, you can, Luca, Andrew, these 5, did I get that right, 5 gentlemen? were my top geometry gurus. So their highest score was in the category of geometry. Then in computation, I had 3 young ladies who fared very well in their computation. And so those 3 girls receiving the Math Fact Master Award were Selah, Ellie, and Braylon. And then this last award is called the Math Wizard Award because these 3 gentlemen all scored highest in algebraic thinking. So I'd like to recognize Nolan, Landon, and Benjamin for your algebraic thinking. So let's recognize these mathematicians. All right, you guys can go on down. By the way, I have this script. I don't know why I'm not reading it. Okay. Now we're going to move into the top reading awards. And I decided, well, if I do the NWEA route, I'm going to have 15 kids up here because I had 15 students whose overall reading score in NWEA was, again, above 200. Parents, I cannot stress enough, this is unheard of. Like, it's amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. So I thought, oh, okay, I don't know that I want to get 15 kids up here. So thankfully we have this thing called the AR Top 50 list. That started, guys, do you remember when they started hanging that up? It was right after spring break, I think. We came back from spring break, and all of a sudden there's this list of 50 names hanging from the wall. Mrs. Luer, our 7th grade teacher, keeps track of that. Once a week she'll update it for us. And so as kids take AR tests, their scores grow, and kids are constantly bumping up or down the list depending on how much they've read for that week. And so the 5 children who are on the list stayed on the list all 6 weeks or so. So if you're one of those 5 kiddos, could you come on up? You know who you are. Yeah. What they don't know is, did they read enough this last week? Because Mrs. Luer didn't update it since, I think, maybe like, last Thursday? I don't know for sure. But they don't know. Did they read enough to hold their place? Did they get bumped down? Did they bump up? So we're going to find out next. All right. Luca Ruth, with a total of 87.4 AR points for the year, you landed in 46th place on our top 50. All right. Next, we come to number 43 on the list with 90.2 AR points. This award goes to J.J. Gannon. All right, scooting up that top 50 list in the 38th place with 96.9 points. Nolan, I'm sorry you wanted to get to 100. You're so close. You still have a couple of days, so you might make it happen, but on the official list, you're at 96.9, so great job, Nolan. Then in the top half, just making it into the top half at number 25, Crew Pitzer read 133.2 AR points. Congratulations. And that takes us to Grayson. Look at the smile on this face. Where did you start, Grayson? Was it 8th, 9th, 7th? 8th place. Kind of bounced around a little bit, didn't you? From what I can remember, which isn't a lot these days, but the question is, did he stay in the top 10? Drum roll. He did. He made it 10th on the AR reading list for the year. And he is a reading machine, let me tell you. He has earned 228.1 AR points for this school year. And now this has to remain top secret, okay? Because this top 10 thing is a big deal. Grayson, I didn't tell you this. You actually get to come to the Big Kids ceremony this afternoon and get recognized again, where you will receive a medal for making it into the top 10. So congratulations. Yay! I'm proud of you. Good job, guys. All right, gentlemen, you can head back. So, because I know you all are very competitive, let this be a reminder that next year, if you want to make it into the top 50, you got to read, and you can't save it up till the end. You got to read all throughout the year. That's always a good reminder, a good way to go. Okay, well, we're going to wrap up, or that kind of wraps up academics, because I know you're thinking, but didn't you take 3 NWEA tests? The answer is yes, you did. You did a language test. So I'm not going to offer awards for this because out of the 22 of you, I'd have 19 kids who had a score that was 200 or better. 19. It's phenomenal. You guys, it's just unheard of. That's why I say you're 1 in a million. I've never had a class like you, and I don't know that I ever will again. It's amazing. So I cannot say enough about you academically. But I want to switch gears, and I want to start moving into some other very important things here at Zion, and that is our spiritual walk with the Lord. And one way that we grow in our spiritual walk with the Lord is through growing in God's knowledge, knowing God's word, and coming to church. And so I'm going to recognize some students for their faithful or perfect church attendance. How am I doing on time? Better wrap it up. Okay. So first I'm going to recognize those with some faithful church attendance by semester. And so faithful would mean that in the entire semester, they only missed 1 weekend. So, oh, and by the way, attendance counts are either in person or you can watch it online. So these students need to come forward. Jack Flannery, J.J. Gannon, and Selah Hawkins. Jack, you had faithful worship attendance in the second semester. J.J., you had faithful attendance in the first semester. And Selah, you had faithful in the second semester. She was sick on Easter weekend. Isn't that a bummer? All right, great job, you three. And then, boys, I'm going to ask you to go on down, but Selah, you stick around for a moment, because now we're going to recognize those who had perfect church attendance. So Selah, you were almost there on second semester. If you just hadn't been sick, you would have made it there for the whole year, but she did have perfect first semester attendance. And then I also want to call forward Austin Neff, who had second semester perfect church attendance, and Benjamin Wesseling for second semester perfect worship attendance. And then I have 3 kiddos. This is quite an amazing feat because it's hard to be healthy, it's hard to be around and not have something interfere, but the following 3 kiddos had perfect attendance for first and second semester. And that goes to Grayson Hamrock, Joy Schumacher, and Ellie Wall. So come on up. Ellie. Congratulations. And I know the students get the recognition, but parents, you really deserve the award too, because you're the ones who get up, get them here, get them dressed, get them ready when they're fighting and they're tired and they don't want to. So good job to parents as well. Thank you very much. All right, you can go have a seat. Okay, we're going to go real quick through this last thing. Now, this is weird. Kids, if you have certificates in your hands already, could you just leave them behind? And I need the whole class to come on up here. So we talked about giving a citizenship award, and I said to Mrs. Ruth, I just don't know how to choose a couple of kids. They're all so amazing in their own right. And so one of the things that we talked about probably way back at the beginning of the year, I barely remember it because it was so long ago, but we kind of talked about the fruits of the Spirit that are mentioned in Galatians chapter 5. And I just thought, you know what? Each of these children has a special strength of one of God's spiritual gifts that he's given to them. And so I recognize Grayson and Braylon as having the characteristic of love. Both of these students are very loving, huggy, happy children and share the love that they have in their hearts with everyone around them. I want to recognize Selah and Austin as having the spiritual gift of joy because they're just bubbly, smiling, happy children like 99.99999% of the time. I see the following three gentlemen as students who display a lot of peace in their heart, in their actions, in their words. And I want to recognize Henry and Landon and Amos for their spiritual gift of peace. Then these two girls have some siblings, so they have to probably have a lot of patience. And I see it displayed in the classroom as well. They might not display this at home, Mom and Dad, but here at school, I see that Claire and Ellie are two very patient little girls, and they can sometimes put up with quite a lot with their classmates. Then we've got the spiritual gift of kindness, and I have two awards to give, one to Benjamin and one to Emma, because these two are always kind, they're thoughtful, generous, and giving. I've got three gentlemen who display the characteristic of goodness. So these awards have some Bible verses, and this one is from Galatians 6, verse 10. As we have opportunity, let us do good to all people. And I see that Jack, Nolan, and Elliot represent that gift quite well. And then I've got three children that I recognize who are filled with faithfulness. Sometimes in spelling assignments or something, I would say, write your spelling words in sentences. And sometimes these three could be found maybe writing one sentence, but sometimes even writing all of the sentences with something to do with their faith or talking about reading a devotion at home. And so it was easy for me to assign the gift of faithfulness to Crew, Andrew, and Joy. And I pray that you continue to grow in your faith every day. All right, then we come to my gentle children. I've got some gentle souls in this class, and I recognize that Bo, Ezekiel, and Marianne have been blessed with the gift of gentleness. And now again, these last few days might be an exception to the rule, but honestly, I feel like throughout the entire year, if I needed to look to two people who were filled with self-control, it would be JJ and Luca. And there you have it. Those are your spiritual gifts, so grow in those. All right. I technically have one more set of awards that I wanted to give, but I'm pushing it on time, so I probably need to... Okay, then I'm going to do this super fast since you're all up here. This is my random award. Everyone's different, and I just looked for something that I thought was very fitting. So, Emma, to you I present the Caring Friend Award for always caring about others. Bo, this should not come as a surprise. you get the Question Bag Award because you love asking questions. I'm not kidding. Every day, Mrs. Crawford, I have a question. Mrs. Crawford, I have a question. I just say, I'm sure you do. I would like to give the Best Effort Award to Jack Flannery for always trying hard and never giving up. Jack, I'm so proud of you. Okay, this next award goes to JJ Gannon, and I see Mrs. Stricker is out there. I think she could attest to this. JJ, you get the Amazing Artist Award because you're brilliant at being creative. Whether it's an art project or drawing for your architectural buildings, you got it going on. Okay, Henry, this probably doesn't come as a surprise. You're my Animal Lover Award because you love all of God's creatures, great and small. And you know so many facts about them. It's unbelievable. Okay, this one goes to Claire Grant for the best laugh because you've laughed your way through the long, long days. Grayson, I'm awarding you the Heart of Gold Award because you care so much about everybody. And I've said that before, he's just got a heart of gold. Okay, now this next one, I was a little bit nervous because it's called Social Butterfly. When I hear that, I kind of sometimes think, ooh, I don't know if you want to be a social butterfly. But what it says on the rest of the word I thought is perfectly fitting for Selah Hawkins. Selah, you are the social butterfly because you talk to everyone and you are their friend. Yep. Nolan Higgins, you get the Creative Mind Award because you always think outside the box. I just remember back when we were talking about leading chapel and we were trying to figure out how are we going to get a donkey. He had this super good idea, like, let's get a bicycle. I talked to my husband about it. I think it was Nolan who said it first, and you kind of chimed in that we could borrow your bike. But I was like, that's genius. I never thought about it. So he just would think outside the box. All right, Ezekiel Leon, where's that smile? There it is. That's why you get the All Smiles Award, because you have a smile that is as bright as the sun, and I love to see it every day. Marianne, you're my cheerleader. She gets the Full of Cheer Award for always being cheery and brightening up everyone's day. Austin, this one won't come as a surprise. You're my ball of energy because you're always buzzing around and you're full of zest. Okay, this one was hard because I feel like I have a couple kids who are probably sort of deserving of this, but I'm going to give it to Amos Ertl for the Handwriting Award because you write your words so beautifully, and you take your time, and it's incredible. So thank you for always being neat. All right, Mr. Pitzer, you've got an outstanding vocabulary, so I would like to recognize you as my vocab master because your vocabulary is enormous, huge, and gigantic, or I could say ginormous. Landon, you're my rock star. I wish this said like dashboard drummer or something, or chapel seat drummer. That's what I really wanted. But it says rock star award because you're always in tune. This kid's going to be an amazing drummer one day. He's been taking lessons, and let me tell you, he's got some rhythm. Luca Ruth, I think you've learned well from your mama. You are a true leader in this class. It's going to make me cry because you just lead by example. Thank you. Andrew, there you are, I see your beautiful eyes. Andrew, you get my Curious Mind Award because you are always quizzical and wondering and sharing your ideas, and I love it. Joy, you get my Helping Hand Award because you are willing to help others all the time, and I just appreciate that. I told you, tissues. Elliot Thompson, you get my One of a Kind Award because you are being you. You are truly unique. That's one thing that we've talked a lot about in different reading stories, that the author just made their characters true to who they are, and Elliot, you live that out beautifully. Okay, Ellie, you are my Contagious Giggler. When you get to going, girl, you can't stop any of the rest of us from laughing along with you, so thank you for that contagious laughter. Benjamin, I'm giving you the Great Personality Award because you are a shining star in so many ways. Kind, thoughtful, smart, athletic, helpful, all the things. Great personality. Okay, and then this one was my other award. Like by title, it doesn't sound very good, but the rest of it was perfectly fitting. My Chatterbox Award goes to Braylon. Not that you talk too much, but that you are quite the storyteller. And I think that's very fitting of you. So, guys, I could go on and on and on. I love you. So, my final wrap up here. As you know, this is the part that's going to make me cry the most. As you know, we've been talking about birds. And I kind of feel like a mama bird must feel right now, because you're my little chicks. And I've just loved watching you grow. I've seen you get bigger and smarter. You've grown in your confidence. You've developed your talents and your interests. But it's time for you to fly away from the nest. And for that, I'm really sad. But I'm also really excited, because I know that you are so ready to fly into 3rd grade, and I know that you will be wildly successful, and I cannot wait to watch you soar. So thank you for everything and for a great year. I love you all. Sorry, I'm done. Yes, yes. All right, just lead them straight out.
Okay, just wear those straight up.
Sorry.
Here, let me get through. That's where we go.
Smart. Okay. Oh, yes, if you have other awards, grab those out.
All right, parents, you can go to the gathering area to get pictures with your kiddos at this time. Thank you.